The worst economic crisis in Turkey's history. That's the opinion of former Turkish Parliament member Aykan Erdemir. He's now a senior fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. I asked him what's behind President Trump's latest broadside against Turkey.
Actually, Turkey could have stopped this early on. What really triggered the bilateral crisis was the detention of an American pastor, Pastor Brunson, on dubious charges. Had Ankara chosen to kind of release the pastor, I think that could have put bilateral relations on track. I know that there are other issues. There is the dispute over Turkey's purchase of S-400s. There is the disagreement over Syria and the Syrian Kurds. But nevertheless, the release of Pastor Brunson could have been kind of an important first step that could have diffused tensions. But at this point, I think we're almost beyond the point of no return, both diplomatically and financially. I think at this point, even if Turkey releases Pastor Brunson, it will not make a big effect on either U.S.-Turkish relations or on calming Turkish markets.
Erdogan said they have their dollars, we have our God. I want to get your thoughts on that reaction. Once these things turn into war of words, it seems as though Trump comes back with another rejoinder. This could go back and forth quite a bit. It doesn't really help settle the situation, does it?
I think Erdogan's comments were more geared towards the domestic audience rather than as a kind of a polemic on the diplomatic scene. He knows that he can convince his 40 to 50% support base that this crisis is not an outcome of his economic mismanagement, but rather an end result of what he calls foreign attacks on Turkish currency and the Turkish economy. So I think his framing of this as you have your dollars, we have our God, again, caters to what I would consider to the worst instincts in his electorate, because ultimately this, in a way, ensures that Turkey stays on this current path, which hasn't served the Turkish economy well.
So we know how this all began. How does it end?
It's difficult to see how this will end. On the diplomatic front, there are now a number of issues that have piled up, and Erdogan does not seem to be willing to take a step back, because that would be a major U-turn in his foreign policy. Yes, Erdogan is capable of and has taken U-turns with Russia and with Germany, but I think at this point he's simply too entrenched. When it comes to the economy, I think a U-turn there is more difficult because it's no longer just about Erdogan's decision. At this point, this is about building confidence in global markets. What's required, kind of as a prerequisite, is Turkey's return to rule of law, independent central bank, kind of more prudent fiscal policy, and more importantly, Turkey's signaling that it is willing to diffuse tensions with the European Union as well as the United States.
It's a laundry list right there. Thanks so much for your observations, and we'll keep our eye on it. Thanks.
Thanks for having me.